Hi everybody, how are you? I'm fine. And you? I'm fine too. Okay. Thank you so much for being present, and thank you for your comments, and thank you for your contribution to your YouTube channel, The Linguist. Okay. Before I start talking about today's lesson, I'd like to make two points. Okay. The first point is to to tell you that I will be presenting my lessons every Tuesday and Friday. Okay, so expect me every Tuesday and every Friday. Okay, and I will be consistent in presenting my lessons so that you can follow with me and be present too and expect my lessons. Okay, the second point, I'd like to send my best thanks and wishes to my followers who have been present with me, who encourage me with their comments, who wish that I would continue and I would give them more content, more lessons, and more of my humble contributions. Okay, so as I promised, as you have been following through all these series, we have been talking about the English tenses. Okay, today I will follow the same path. I will talk about two more tenses, and these two tenses are the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous. Okay, the past perfect simple and perfect continuous make part of the past tenses. Okay, they are two past tenses. And by talking about these two past tenses, I will have finished talking about past tenses, and it will be shown to you, it will be clear to you that the link between these two tenses will be clarified, and I hope that by following my lectures in a smooth and successive way, you will understand the slight differences between these tenses, the tenses I talked about before, like the simple past, the present perfect simple, and so on and so forth, and the tenses I'm gonna talk about today. As I said, the two tenses I will be talking about today are the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous. These two tenses are also two past tenses. They try to describe some things which happen in the past. Okay, and the first tense is the past perfect simple. Okay, it is made by using the past of have, had, the auxiliary had. Okay, plus the verb in the past participle. Like when I say, for example, I had traveled, I had been. Okay, in the negative we would say I hadn't been. In questions, we would say, had he, had she, had you been, had you walked, had you traveled, and so on and so forth. So this is what as concerns the form of the past perfect simple. Okay, let's now come to the use. Okay, so the use of the past perfect simple is also very specified, very specific. Okay, it has some specific and special uses as opposed to other tenses or past tenses we have been talking about so far. The past perfect simple is used when talking about actions in the past which take place in relation with some point in time in the past. Okay, I hope by now you have you have made an idea in your mind about what the past perfect simple is. So, as I said, so when we have two actions in the past, and these two actions, one of them took place before the other. Okay, so here that action which takes place before is put in the past perfect, while the action which takes place after is put in the simple past. Let me give you an example. Okay, like when I say, for example, yesterday when I arrived home, my mother had already served lunch. Okay, so here we have two actions, the action of serving lunch by my mother and my arriving or my arrival. So I arrived, so when I arrived, my mother had already served lunch, which means that my mother served lunch before my arrival. This is why we put the action which takes place first in the past perfect, and we put the action which takes place after in the simple past. I'll give you one more example. For example, you wanted to travel last week or last weekend, okay, and you had that in the ticket you had the time of the departure of the train or of the bus specified, which is 10 o'clock, for example, and you arrived at 10:15 to the bus or to the train station. When you arrived Okay, unfortunately, you did not find the train. Okay, in this case, we say, when I arrived to the station last week or last weekend or yesterday, the train had already left, which means I did not find the train when I arrived. I was late, okay? I did not find it. So here, the action of arriving took place after the action of leaving. The train left before or had left before I arrived, okay? And there are some expressions with which we use the past perfect simple. Example, I gave you two before. I gave you, for example, before. I gave you when and already, okay? Another expression is by the time. So by the time here means when. So by the time I arrived, the train had already left. By the time I arrived, the train had already left. Okay, another expression we use is after. So we use before and we use after. We can use after with the same sentence. For instance, what do you think? How would we put it? Okay, did you guess? Okay, so we would say the train had left after I arrived. Okay, or I arrived after the train had left. Which one do you think is correct? Okay, so the second one. The train had left after, the train had, I arrived after the train had left. Okay? So the action of leaving took place before the action of arriving. This is why we put the verb in the past perfect. Another expression we use with the past perfect simple is until. Okay, with until, for example, I give you an example with until. For example, the workers in a firm, in a society, were going on strike. Okay, and maybe because they're not satisfied with their conditions of work and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is why they went on strike. Okay, they did not want to stop that strike. Okay, until the boss came and promised that he will or would raise salaries. So in this case, we would say the workers did not stop the strike until the boss had promised to raise the salaries. Okay, so his promise took place before they stopped the strike. Okay, so in this case we use until. Another expression we can use with the past perfect simple is as soon as. As soon as here, when we have two actions which took place one before the other, but very, very near each other. Like, for example, I give you a situation here. An adolescent who was, smoking a cigarette. Okay, so while smoking the cigarette, he saw his father passing by. So, what do you think he's going to do in this case? Is he going to keep the cigarette in his and enjoy himself? No, I think no. When he saw his father, he threw away. So we say, as soon as he had seen his father, he threw away the cigarette. Okay, as soon as he had seen his father, he threw away the cigarette. So the action of seeing his father took place before the action of throwing the cigarette, but they're very near in time. Okay, this is also one of the instances when we use the past perfect simple. So as I said before, we can use it with before, we can use it with after, we can use it with as soon as, we can use it with until, we can use it with by the time, we can use it with when, and so on and so forth. So what you have to bear in mind is whenever you have an action which takes place, two actions, which took place in the past, and one of them took place before the other, we put the second, or the first one, the one which took place before, in the past perfect simple, and the second one in the past simple. Okay, one point here I'd like to clarify, which might create some confusion for you, which is, when talking about the past simple, we talked about when we have a succession of actions. Okay, action which comes after the other. So in this case, we put all the verbs in the simple past. So there is a difference between succession of actions and actions taking place before. So when we use the past perfect, when we want to focus that that action took place before the other, and so on and so forth. But when we have just a succession of actions, like for instance when I say last week when I came home I took a shower and had my dinner and so on. So here we have just a succession. We don't want to focus on which action took place before the other. So in this case we use just the simple past. Okay, I hope up to now that notion of the past perfect simple is clear in your mind. Okay, now I'd like to move to another tense, which is also a past perfect tense, which is the past perfect continuous. Okay, I guess up to now you have a clear idea what continuous tenses have in common. All of them, there is some continuity involved, as I said before in the last videos. Okay, in this case, we have two actions. One action started before another in the past, but with a difference. With past perfect simple, the action took place before there is some interval between the first action and the second action. Okay, but here with the past perfect continuous, things are a bit different, because the action which took place first continued until the action which took place next. Okay, like for example when I said yesterday when the teacher came, okay, yesterday when the teacher came, I had been working for 2 hours. Okay, means for example the teacher came at 10 o'clock. Okay, he came at 10 o'clock and I was there before him at 8 o'clock, and I started work at 8 o'clock and he came at 10 o'clock. So I started work at 8 o'clock and then continued and kept on working until 10 o'clock. So in this case, we use the past perfect continuous. So the action of working took place or started at 8 o'clock and continued up to 10 o'clock, but both actions took place in the past. So this is the main difference between the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous. Okay, so you have to make it clear in your mind. When we have two actions in the past and one action took place before the other, and we want to stress that idea of one action anticipating another, we use the past perfect simple. But when an action in the past continues until another action in the past, we use the past perfect continuous. So this is mainly the difference between the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous. Okay, and I hope that in the coming sessions, in the coming videos, I will make things clearer by presenting more examples, by bringing more exercises, and you will see that things will be clear in your minds, especially when we are going to have exercises which can englobe all the tenses, all the past tenses, especially the simple past, the past present perfect simple, past continuous, and so on and so forth. Okay, you will see those differences between. I'll give you pertinent examples which show you the difference between this tense and that tense. Okay, and I hope that it will be successful in my job. Okay, so up to now I think I have made clear the difference between the past perfect simple and the past perfect continuous. Okay, and I hope that by the next week video, which will appear next Friday. Okay, so to remind you that I will be posting videos every Tuesday and Friday, so expect me every Tuesday and Friday. I will bring something new. So for instance, the next video is going to be some exercises on the board, okay, which make those differences between the past tenses, as I said, clearer with examples, with plenty of examples. So this is a cumulative exercise which will show you when we use that tense and when we don't use that tense. So up to there, I hope that you have profited from this class. Okay, I hope that the difference between past perfect simple and past perfect simple and continuous is clear in your mind. Okay, and before I leave, I'd like to thank you so much for your comments, for your contributions, for your encouragement, because thanks to your comments, thanks to your encouragement, I will be here, I will be presenting more, I will be following you. Okay, and just be patient with me and we will make wonders. Okay, so if you like the video, please strike a like, if you subscribe, it's better, because when you subscribe, you will get lessons right into your account every time I post one, meaning every Tuesday and every Friday. Okay. Okay, and like and share with your friends, because we want this to be shown to everybody. We want all people to profit. This is something that we want all people to profit from. Okay, so up to here. Thank you so much, and remember that together we can. Thank you so much, and see you next video. Thank you.